The golden gates of the empire open to a silent, unseen killer. Silk Road merchants carry dark secrets hidden within their heavy, velvet crates. Cold teal mist clings to the hulls of the incoming grain ships. Orange embers of the lighthouse flicker against a charcoal, winter night sky. A single cough echoes through the crowded, narrow streets of the Subura. The invisible terror moves through the air like a cold, sharp blade. No walls can stop the advance of this mysterious and deadly force. Rome is a machine of stone now grinding to a sudden halt. The scent of sweet incense fails to mask the smell of rot. Massive marble forums stand empty under the weight of an ancient fear. Sailors collapse on the basalt docks as the teal morning sun rises. Flickering oil lamps illuminate the pale, sweat-streaked faces of the dying men. Every breath in the marketplace is a gamble with a lethal destiny. Dark charcoal shadows grow longer across the white, polished imperial palace floors. The empire is reaching its peak while the foundation begins to crumble. Silver coins change hands, carrying the silent seeds of a global catastrophe. Merchants close their heavy wooden stalls in a sudden, panicked, cold silence. The rhythmic thud of the night watch feels slower and more heavy. Orange sparks fly from the funeral pyres, lighting the dark city outskirts. Teal moonlight reflects off the cold, stagnant water of the Roman fountains. A strange, metallic taste hangs in the stagnant and heavy morning air. The invisible enemy thrives in the density of the massive urban maze. Steel swords are useless against a foe that has no physical form. Wealthy senators flee to their country villas in a desperate, freezing panic. They leave behind a city of marble that is now a cage. The shadow of the eagle is eclipsed by a dark, suffocating cloud. Every stone in the Appian Way feels the weight of the coming storm. Deep charcoal smoke smudges the cold, steel-blue horizon of the Italian coast. The engineering of the empire is powerless against this biological silent strike. We walk through the halls of history, smelling the ash and rain. The flickering embers of civilization are struggling against a cold, rising wind. This is the shocking truth of a world-ending event hidden in stone. The silence of the streets is louder than any Roman battle cry. Blue-gray frost covers the abandoned carts in the empty, silent cattle market. The pulse of the empire is fading like a dying orange candle. No warning could prepare the people for this invisible and absolute terror. The iron law of Rome is now a law of total isolation. Shadows stretch across the Tiber, hiding the secrets of the first victims. We witness the beginning of a tragedy that will reshape the world. The stage is set for a collision between marble and a plague. The air of Rome is thick with the smell of burning charcoal. Massive pits are dug into the cold, teal earth outside the walls. Flickering orange flames consume the remains of a once powerful, proud era. Dark charcoal smoke rises high into the freezing, steel-blue morning sky today. Every marble statue stands as a silent witness to the rising horror. Public baths sit stagnant and green in the cold, fading teal twilight. The rhythmic clatter of cartwheels is the only sound in the forum. Orange sparks fly as the city's hearths are finally left to die. Rome has become a sprawling, hollow monument made of stone and ash. Deep shadows hide the faces of those carrying the heavy, wooden litters. A layer of gray dust coats the polished floors of the Senate. The pulse of commerce is replaced by a heavy, cold, and stagnant silence. Doctors wear heavy leather masks as they walk through the dark alleys. Flickering orange candles illuminate the dark, cold entries of the elite villas. The Tiber River carries the dark secrets of a city under siege. Every alley holds a tragedy, and every corner hides a cold death. Merchants abandon their wooden stalls as the cold teal twilight begins fading. Heavy iron gates groan as the city watch begins their silent patrol. This is the pulse of a city built on absolute iron law. Grain ships sit empty in the harbor, waiting for a new master. The grand marble structures stand silent under the weight of dark clouds. Listen to the distant, rhythmic echo of marching boots on basalt stones. Two powerful forces move toward a collision that will reshape the world. One man holds the walls while another marches from the frozen north. Smoke from the funeral hearths smudges the cold, steel-blue horizon tonight. Gold decorations sparkle inside dark halls where men plot their next move. The eagle still flies, but its silver wings are covered in dust. Every brick in this sprawl was placed to last for all eternity. Yet the foundations of the Roman world are starting to tremble now. Statues of ancient rulers watch the streets with cold and hollow eyes. People huddle in dark corners, whispering about the signs in the sky. A new power is rising, colder and more resilient than the old. We are stepping into a machine of power made of fire and stone. The silence of the night is a heavy cloak over the empire. Every heartbeat brings us closer to the shattering of the ancient order. This is the reality of Rome before the final, violent storm arrives. Armor clanks in the dark as guards move through the silent plazas. The scent of charcoal and wet iron hangs in the stagnant air. High walls shield the wealthy from the growing hunger of the streets. Polished steel swords reflect the flickering orange light of the city guard. The imperial palace is a cold cage made of gold and stone. Flickering orange candles cast long shadows across the polished marble palace floor. Teal moonlight streams through high windows, illuminating the empty and silent halls. Every velvet curtain hides a secret, and every whisper carries a threat. The scent of expensive wine is lost to the smell of death. Emperors sit on cold stone thrones, watching their vast world slowly burn. Silver platters sit empty while the kitchens are filled with dark charcoal smoke. The sound of heavy footsteps on marble is replaced by a heavy silence. Orange embers in the hearths provide a flickering, desperate light in the dark. Teal twilight light bathes the palace arches in a cold, eerie morning glow. The Senate sits in darkness, their influence fading with the dying sun. Powerful men wear cold silk robes while their authority slowly turns to ash. The iron laws of the empire are useless against this silent, invisible foe. Polished bronze mirrors reflect faces pale with fear and a cold, deep panic. A single cough from a senator sends ripples of terror through the room. They plot for a power that is disappearing into the dark charcoal smoke. Golden statues of past rulers watch the decline with cold and hollow eyes. Fear is the only currency left in the halls of the Roman elite. Teal moonlight reflects off the sharp edges of every unused ceremonial dagger today. The elite huddle in their villas, waiting for a dawn that never comes. Wealthy citizens hide behind high walls made of cold, white imperial marble. Orange embers in the fireplace are the only warmth in the freezing rooms. The sound of heavy iron locks turning echoes through the silent, dark villas. Teal shadows stretch long across the mosaic floors of the dying elite classes. Gold coins sit in heavy chests, unable to buy a single healthy breath. The structure of the empire is a beautiful but completely empty gilded cage. Slaves and masters are equal in the eyes of the cold charcoal plague. Every brick in the palace was placed to last for all eternity tonight. Yet the foundations of the political world are starting to tremble quite violently. The scent of damp earth and old incense hangs in the stagnant air. The hierarchy of Rome is shattering under the weight of a silent plague. Every servant is a potential carrier of the unseen and deadly charcoal death. The empire is a machine of power that has finally run out of oil. Flickering torches line the empty hallways, lighting the path to a certain end. The silence of the wealthy is a heavy cloak over the dying giant. High walls shield the rich from the growing hunger of the dark streets. Polished steel swords reflect the flickering orange light of the palace guard today. Rome is a sprawling maze of luxury and deep, unforgiving, charcoal-colored shadows. You can feel the tension building within the massive, cold stone arches now. The era of the elite is ending in a spray of blood today. The Iron Legions are breaking under the weight of an unseen enemy. Cold teal fog swallows the watchtowers of the frozen northern frontier tonight. Rusted steel swords lie forgotten in the dark, coal and charcoal mud. Flickering orange campfires burn low against the silent, dark and heavy forest. No Roman spear can stop the advance of the silent charcoal death. Soldiers huddle in their leather tents, waiting for a cold, teal morning. The rhythmic sound of marching feet is lost in a heavy silence. Orange sparks fly from the dying fires into the freezing teal night. Every mile of the frontier is a monument to a dying empire. The scent of wet iron and rotting leather fills the stagnant air. Supply wagons sit empty on the side of the narrow stone roads. Horses stand still in the teal mist, their breath thick and gray. Every tent holds a tragedy, and every corner hides a cold blade. Orange flames from burning banners cast long shadows across the silent camp. The eagle standard falls into the dirt, covered in dark charcoal dust. No orders come from Rome to the cold and lonely northern forts. The discipline of the legion is melting away like winter teal frost. Flickering oil lamps reveal the pale, sweat-streaked faces of the elite infantry. The machinery of war is grinding to a sudden and silent halt. Deep charcoal shadows hide the fear within the ranks of the soldiers. Centurions stare into the orange embers, their iron wills finally breaking today. The frontier walls are guarded by ghosts in heavy, rusted steel armor. Teal moonlight streams through the cracks of the abandoned wooden fort gates. Every heartbeat brings the army closer to total and absolute collapse tonight. Armor clanks in the dark as survivors move through the silent plazas. The scent of pine and wet earth is mixed with charcoal smoke. Orange sparks from a single forge rise toward the cold, teal sky. The power of the sword is eclipsed by the power of plague. We walk through the frozen camps, smelling the cold ash and rain. The transition from steel to dust is now complete and absolute here. Barriers of wood and stone cannot hold back the invisible charcoal terror. The rhythmic thud of the army creates a heartbeat for a tragedy. Every shield is a weight, and every spear is a cold burden. Orange flames consume the leather straps of the heavy Roman combat gear. The Empire is a machine of iron that is finally breaking apart. Flickering torches line the empty trenches, lighting the path to the end. The silence of the legions is a heavy cloak over the frontier. Polished steel helmets reflect the flickering orange light of the dying watch. You can feel the tension building within the massive, cold stone forts. The era of the soldier is ending in a spray of blood. The pulse of the empire is finally slowing down to a crawl. Rome is no longer a dream, it is a nightmare of steel. The great marble structures stand silent under the weight of dark clouds. Teal twilight light bathed the ruins in a cold and eerie glow. Orange embers of the past still flicker within the charcoal city ruins. Every stone in the forum is a witness to the final collapse. The transition from a city of marble to blood is now complete. Shadows stretch across the Tiber like dark and silent fingers of death. We walk through the aftermath, feeling the weight of this massive change. The sun sets on one era, rising slowly on a different world. High walls can no longer shield the wealthy from the ultimate truth. Polished steel swords reflect the flickering orange light of the final fire. The era of the many leaders is ending in a cold silence. Deep charcoal shadows hide the fear and ambition of the dying ranks. Every banner flapping in the wind tells a story of absolute loss. The city is a masterpiece of engineering now frozen in time today. Orange sparks from the bonfires rise toward the cold, teal-blue night sky. We witness the moment the ancient world breathed its very last breath. The architecture speaks of a glory that will never truly return now. Beneath the marble, the gritty reality of the streets remains frozen forever. The Empire is a machine of iron that has finally stopped working. The survivor knows that holding the ruins is harder than winning wars. The night is long, and the future is being written in stone. Every pixel captured here honors the majesty of the ancient Roman spirit. The scent of damp earth and old incense hangs in the air. Listen to the distant sound of a single, lonely silver trumpet blast. It signals the start of a new, cold, and absolute imperial age. The sun has set, but the embers of Rome still burn bright. This is the calm after the storm, the beginning of a reign. We see the city not as ruins, but as a living giant. The pulse of Rome is steady and strong under its new reality. Every street corner reflects the light of a world that has changed. The shadows are long, but the vision for the future is clear. We are walking through a dream made of stone, fire, and steel. The tragedy is complete, and the city is finally at rest tonight. Cold wind blows through the columns of the Great Hall today. Every stone in the city is a witness to the coming revolution. The pulse of the Empire is slowing down before the final strike. We are the ghosts walking through the halls of a dying giant. Look closely at the faces of those who will not see tomorrow.